Alright, fuckers and fuckettes. Now what we're going to talk about today is servicing your rear ends on your Hondas. Now I've already drained this one and it was nasty, and that's what made me decide to shoot this video. My first step after I drained it was I filled this with Marvel mystery oil. And right now I've already drained out the Marvel. I've got diesel treat in there. And between the two, they'll freshen up the seals in this rear end, so I won't be changing seals a month down the road, because this bike did sit for a while and the rubber was nasty. But freshening up the seals isn't the real objective here. A, I've got the gears back to shiny, and B, I've got all the crud and dirt and nasty out of here. And this was nasty when I first drained it out. It actually took about 2.5 hours for this rear end to drain. Okay, so now I'll bring that out, that diesel treat. Get it the hell out of there. Stick your finger under there. You don't really want that shit on your tire. This tire doesn't matter a whole lot because it's got a massive blemish in it anyway from it's been sitting on its side stand for several years. Yeah, not my fault. I just went down and inspected this one with the dude. And I kind of knew I was in for a little headache. Okay, now that I've got the diesel treat in there, out of there, just to make sure I get it all out, these Hondas pump backwards. Go on ahead and run it like that. Let it stay up off the drain. Get you some fresh oil all over everything. That's all you got to do right there. You're done. Let it drain now. Now, if you're a Democratic Party member, you may want to find a Republican to at least supervise you. But if you can't find a Republican to supervise you, find a constitutional party or a libertarian. Because we all know that Democrats are too stupid to own wrenches. Anyway, it's draining off. See, I can even tell which section of the gear was down on the bottom, and what I'm doing right now is I'm rolling it backwards. I'm inspecting my teeth for pits. I'm looking for leftover varnish on them teeth because this shit was gummy when it came out. And I can't tell you how many of these rear ends I've pulled apart where they've never been serviced at all, or they're like this one where they've sat a few years and the shit comes out all gummy and turns your oil in your drain pan all gray because it's got a little bit of condensation and water in it. And you don't have to rinse it with diesel treat and Marvel. I know guys that use regular diesel fuel. Of course, I also know that 3 or 4 months later they're replacing seals, and I don't seem to have that problem. Now you just fill it up, top it off, and it is full when it starts running out. Like that right there. Now it's full. And you notice I'm not recommending any particular grade or brand of oil. I'm using 80W90 because it's a Honda and this is Florida. You need that 80W90 instead of straight 80. Sometimes, depending on the bike and depending on the rider, I'll tell them to use 9115 if I think they're putting some ass on it. Or if they've got a fat bitch for an old lady. I mean, you know, then you just tell them, hey, get the heaviest fucking lube you can. Top it off again. Turn it backwards one more time. While it's still turned backwards and hasn't caught up to you. a spin there. Double check to make sure it is topped. And it is. And while it's still running, take your freshly wiped off cap. Don't leave no sand or no dirt or nothing on the inside of it, you dumb goddamn son of a bitch motherfucker. Shit goddamn. And that is a direct attack or pun or pick at or making fun of a certain kid that just wrecked a goddamn Suzuki, one of them intruders, because of that. Failed to change his rear end lube, and when he finally did, I watched him fucking put that cap on with sand. Made him pull it back off, but he didn't want to pull it apart and get that sand out of there. Tore up his seal, lost all his juice. Here we go, that is back on there. That's the whole rear end, it's serviced. I mean, granted you can service the axle, and I've already serviced the shaft, but I figured I'd point out that differential. I don't care if you got a Suzuki Intruder, they're all about the same. I don't care what you got. Goldwing, VT1100, Cowie Vulcan, they're all about the same. There's going to be a drain on the bottom, there's going to be a place to fill it up there. You drain it on the bottom, you pop your fill off, put your drain back in, rinse it with, flush it with something. Like I say, I like to give it one shot of Marvel Mistral oil, leave it in there for about 10 minutes. Let it drain out, and then I put in the diesel treat. And that's normally the brand I get. This, I told them diesel treat, they swear it's the same thing. This shit's got slick diesel in it, whatever, I don't know, diesel fuel supplement plus cetane boost. They swore up and down it's the same as diesel treat, and it does smell the same, so I'm gonna call it good. Diesel treat is normally made by Lube, though this is made by a company called Power Service. And between the two, those will fresh up your seals so that you're ready to go. I mean, you don't have to worry about changing your seals a month from now because some asshole used straight diesel fuel or gasoline to rinse the sumbitch out and left your seals all nasty and brittle. What the fuck is this sumbitch beeping about? Huh. Fuck, where is it? There it is. Oh, hell. It's telling me it's Thanksgiving Day tomorrow. Ha. Surprised that damn thing doesn't tell me when to shit. Actually, I think that's an option, ain't it? Any of y'all people writing shit for iPhone? Somebody want to pop by the shop and show me how when I take it off the caller ID I can get it in my contacts with a regular name on it instead of just a phone number? I'd be extremely grateful. I'd say thank you. Okay, so that's covered on the rear end, and I think I've covered why. I know I've covered the fact that most people just don't fucking service them, and that's kind of stupid. Alright, well, I'll holler at y'all fuckers and fuckheads later.